Dantano.
What up, nation? What is happening, good people? Check my levels real quick. Ah, damn, we got some people up in the house. Some familiar faces. Got my members. Salute to the members. Salute to the patrons. Y'all the goats. Supporting the SMT YouTube channel. Single-handedly carrying the mail. Big salute to y'alls. Thank you. Your YouTube creators need you now more than ever. Big trust. Let's see here. What are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do? What are we covering? What are we discussing? What are the topics? Got a lot, though. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to be able to get to all of it. I'm going to try. All right, so first of all, let me get my video feed going, right? So you guys can actually see me. Okay, we here. Muted. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Raging Dusty. All right, we should be good now. I don't know why it was muted. I thought I had it set on. My bad. Big salute to you guys. Thanks for letting me know. We are golden. Let's let it rip. So for tonight's show, one of the stories we're going to cover, something we don't typically do here, is discuss Wi-Fi. But apparently There's stuff going on behind the scenes. There's developments happening. Wi-Fi is about to get even better. In my opinion, Wi-Fi has been pretty good. It's been getting better. Ever since like 5 gigahertz. And then Wi-Fi 6. And then Wi-Fi 6E. Now we've got the Wi-Fi 7 leaps. So we'll be discussing that story. We'll also talk about Google Fiber. They're testing ways to make their home internet speeds faster. And they got this new hub thing going on. Yeah, Kazi, 7E maybe with Wi-Fi. There's a story about the United States population, Americans, cutting expenses, general expenses, so that they're able to continue to pay for their internet. This is no surprise, right? When we talk to Roger, Recon Analytics, these are things that we get from the data. The consumer's unwilling to negotiate connectivity, and whether it's mobile or it's home internet, they can't cut it. All right, so we'll be discussing that story, the Google Fiber piece, the Wi-Fi piece. There's a Verizon story as well. I think there's a couple of pieces from Verizon we'll cover. One is about MWC, Mobile World Congress. Verizon is going to be showing out. Just ask Carlos Estech. He'll tell you what they've been up to. Building a tremendous network out there. We're also going to talk about 5G build-outs and network builds. And the spending that's basically looking to be relaxed in 2023 and then 2024. But we know that real 5G networking requires some pretty heavy investment because of the density that's required. So when is it going to pick back up? Right? I think that's a story worth looking at. And Verizon's got some other technology piece that they've got a story about. And then I'm going to do a little bit of prediction. We actually are about a month away, but Verizon's Q3 earnings is scheduled for October 24th. I think we could kind of preview it a little bit tonight. Now, we should probably wait till the week of or the week before to do a predictions video because you get more time to kind of see how things are going for Q3. But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know what people are expecting, I'll give you guys my take. Where I think Verizon will shine, what I think will be strong for them, and where their areas of weakness will be. And, it's some of it's going to sound repetitive because the same problems still persist at Verizon. They haven't truly addressed the things that have continued to be what I consider to be weaknesses of their business. Not that they give a damn, but it's worth mentioning, So we'll do our little predictions. We'll talk about what we can expect from their earnings. All right, let's go ahead and start with the show. And, of course, if you want to support the SMT YouTube channel, there are about 7 different ways you could do it. There's ways to support us with donations. There's ways to support us by becoming members and getting additional access, exclusive content, perks like early access to videos, becoming a patron, and supporting channel creation and requesting types of content for me to make. All that stuff's possible, So if you guys want to support us, that's how you could do it. If you want to be a passive observer, just kind of consume the content, no problem. But if you want to support your creators and really show your appreciation for the hard work they put into their content, you could definitely do that, and it is greatly appreciated. Buy us a coffee, maybe. Link in the description. All right, let's go ahead and start. First story of the eve. Wi-Fi 7. I didn't really think I was going to be talking about Wi-Fi tonight on the show, but I guess it's a big enough deal, right? I guess. All right, here I am. Let's do this. Okay, so Wi-Fi 7 promises big leaps in performance. This story, I think, came out yesterday. This is out of, I believe, Qualcomm. All right. New Wi-Fi 7 standard expected to be ready in 2024. So that puts us just about, a few months away. Poised to deliver a big upgrade in performance over Wi-Fi 6E, including theoretical speeds of over 40 gigabits per second. I want to take a look at that number, folks. First of all, Nobody is going to have access to a 40 gigabit per second circuit on Wi-Fi, you know. Nobody's got a 40 gig circuit going to their house. But enterprise could potentially have a use case that could push a 40 gig speed. That is a crazy fast speed, folks. That is a lot of capacity. But the theoretical is nice to see that they're kind of pushing the envelope. I don't know what kind of device can do this, you know, hardware wise, access points, all that stuff coming to market. I'm guessing some point next year. I'm sure it's going to be very pricey. I'm sure it's going to be very expensive. If you just upgraded to a bunch of Wi-Fi gear within the last 24, 48 months, are you really compelled to start upgrading everything? I don't know. But this is on the horizon. Wi-Fi 7 builds on the foundation started with Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E, but includes 320 megahertz of bandwidth within channels, right? 4K on the QAM in terms of the modulation. A snazzy new feature called multi-link operation, similar to carrier aggregation in the cellular world. Okay, so that's kind of exciting. I can't lie. All right, I'm into carrier aggregation. So that would be cool. You could combine maybe one or two additional channels beyond just a standard Wi-Fi channel. That's pretty fancy. MLO allows for the aggregation of multiple different radio links in different spectrum bands, resulting in higher throughputs, reduced network congestion. Plus, MLO also reduces latency because it can switch between the different available radio links. All right, so if you got a Wi-Fi signal that's giving you a 10 latency, maybe it could bring it down. Yeah, that's right. MS, he might do it. Get him a 40 gig circuit. Yeah, Tech Guy 32, maybe it is kind of overkill, but I think just kind of showing what the links can do. So like this thing gets me excited. The fact that you can connect multiple channels of Wi-Fi. So if you got like, you know, the Wi-Fi over the 5 gigahertz, you got the Wi-Fi over the 6 gigahertz. You know, you're combining all the bandwidth. I think all of that has value, right? It brings value to the table with respect to capacity needs. You never know. I mean, look, Tech Guy 32, I can envision this becoming important in arenas. I could see it being important at concert venues, you know, that sort of thing. Maybe not to like someone's home. It's definitely overkill to someone's home, but I wouldn't say it's overkill to a school, a university. I wouldn't say it's overkill to a shopping mall or something like that, right? I think it's probably more along the lines of those types of use cases. All right, so they also cited some other stuff. Large file downloads, video streaming, virtual reality, because it unlocks higher throughputs by aggregation. All right, Wi-Fi 7 isn't the only factor contributing to the huge innovations that are expected to occur in the Wi-Fi world over the next year. The other reason is the FCC's recent allocation of 1,200 megahertz of 6 gigahertz spectrum for unlicensed use. This new spectrum allotment basically triples the amount of unlicensed spectrum available for Wi-Fi in the U.S. So you're getting lots of additional bandwidth, and you're getting aggregation combinations. Wow, it looks like Wi-Fi is about to level up, folks. Looks pretty good to me. Nick Weaver, co-founder and CEO of Eero. You guys may have heard of that company. They're big into Wi-Fi gear, access points, routers, stuff like that. They've got a Wi-Fi mesh company. It's a Wi-Fi mesh company that's owned by Amazon. Wi-Fi 7 will be able to deliver speeds that are faster than many Ethernet connections inside homes. ABI Research predicts Wi-Fi 7 devices, gateways, routers, extenders will begin to hit the market this year, and by 2028, shipments of Wi-Fi 7 consumer premise equipment will pass those of Wi-Fi 6E CPEs. So this is, for those of you that haven't done anything to your Wi-Fi in a few years, maybe you skipped the whole like Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E situation, now may be the time, you know. To entice the move to Wi-Fi 7, Qualcomm is entering the 10 gig fiber market with a 10 gig fiber gateway platform that pairs Wi-Fi 7 with 10 gig passive optical network connectivity, including Qualcomm's service-defined Wi-Fi technology. The platform designed to enable 10 gig speeds through the home and includes Qualcomm's service-defined Wi-Fi tech that helps improve customer experience with a cloud-native framework that lets broadband providers provision the home gateway and control the services of the network. Nice way to optimize, right? Nice way to have kind of like granular control. What else does it tell us here? Charter Communications is collaborating with Qualcomm as well over Wi-Fi 7, 10 gigabit per second Wi-Fi speeds to Spectrum home internet users. The Wi-Fi 7 platform will leverage MLO, as we spoke to earlier, deliver connectivity from all three Wi-Fi bands, aggregating the 2.4, the 5, and the 6 gigahertz. All right, so that's big news. Oh, and this just in, breaking news. T-Mobile got hacked again. Yep, T-Mobile got hacked again, folks. Go ahead and, text your family, text your friends. Let them know. T-Mobile got hacked. Oh, damn. Story is out. Oh, damn. Breaking news. Oh, damn. Oh, man. Let's, wow. Just when you think it can't get any worse. Breaking story. Kaz, appreciate it, man. Oh, my goodness. T-Mobile, the gift that keeps on giving. All right, guys, do me a favor. Share this out to your friends, family, everybody you know. Let them know what is happening. Wow. All right, here it is. A massive new data breach may have hit T-Mobile. 90 gigs of user data exposed. Looks like it was literally just posted because it says September 21st. Oh, my God. And look how they write this, though. Can we talk about this? T-Mobile really cannot catch a break lately. They don't give a damn about consumers' info and data. All right, so fresh off the heels of a reported T-Mobile app failure in which customers had access to other customer information on a reported quote-unquote technology issue, T-Mobile appears to have had over 90 gigs of user data exfiltrated and sold online. T-Mobile been breached again. Data has been exfiltrated and is being shared online again. T-Mobile's 8th breach since 2018. 3rd breach this year. And by the way, folks, it is September. We have more time to go. They can get hacked again. This breach is 90 gigs of exfiltrated customer information. If true, this is yet another horrible stain on T-Mobile's security record. The breach is also apparently not related to yesterday's app glitch. So you have app glitches, you have data hacks. All right, according to the T-Mo report, says typically we wait to report on these things until we have at least 2 separate sources or hard evidence. That being said, the source for this news is typically credible. We've decided to share the news now. As with anything of this nature, though, this could always be false or old data from a previous breach. So please stay tuned until we find out more details. We've reached out to both the source and T-Mobile for confirmation and report back when we learn more. Oh, my God. Tell a friend to tell a friend. When it comes to security, T-Mobile can't do it. They don't know how. They don't know how, people. I don't even know what to say. I was going to do a show with great energy on all types of cool tech, and then something like this happens, And I got to make content telling people that T-Mobile's been hacked again. And again, and again, and again, and again. Why, like, and it goes to show you why T-Mobile will never change. Why would T-Mobile change when their customers stay and they're not leaving? They're not coming or going. They're not doing anything about it, right? They just continue to give them money, right? Paying their bills. T-Mobile's like, hey, why should we care about security? Why? Why would we pay extra money? Why would we hire a team? Why would we, hire employees and bring in skilled, talented people, have a higher payroll when people don't care? They continue to give us money hand over fist. We don't have to do any of this. 90 gigs of user data. So, folks, that's a lot. Because the user data is like, it's just text. What? Maybe some photo IDs? These ain't video files. These are probably going to be, and this is just me speculating, but I think there's a high possibility that it's going to be like people's IDs, social security numbers. It's just more of the same. That is terrible, man. T-Mobile's literally the worst. They don't give a damn about anybody. They just don't give a damn. They really don't. All right, let's pivot. Google Fiber is testing ways to boost home internet speeds with a new hub. All right, cool. We got more tech. Google Fiber. Google Fiber has announced the launch of G-Fiber Labs, a new hub dedicated to innovating internet technology and services with specific attention on boosting speed to the home as well as reliability, service, and access. G-Fiber, which I guess that's what they call Google Fiber now, will use its existing facility on the Google campus in Mountain View, California, that houses lab equipment and materials for tests involving its data centers and network. But G-Fiber Labs initiative will also conduct network testing outside of the environment in real markets to augment the products and services it's working on in the lab. Google Fiber will be looking at a wide array of companies, some of which it has already worked with and some of which will be new. Will include traditional networking companies like those involved on the ONT space, wireless vendors. Will also tap strategic investors as it relates to anything on the service side. G-Fiber will be able to disclose the names of some of those companies relatively soon, so we should get some more updates on this developing story from G-Fiber. All right, so they're looking to improve home internet speeds, incorporate the development in Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 8, I'm guessing that's going to be the next step. Make home networks multi-gig in preparation for emerging tech like 3D, augmented VR, and 16K video. Folks, we haven't even really touched 8K video. Like, it has not scaled. Nobody's really done the 8K thing with respect to creating content. We're already talking about 16K. Lab will also work on technologies like photonics, mmWave wireless for faster speeds. I like the sound of that. mmWave is the move, man. All right, cool stuff. Google Fiber reached out to Fierce after the publication of this to clarify that G-Fiber Labs is also working on improving reliability, service, and access. Okay, so that was the amendment to that piece. All right, guys, be on the lookout. Google Fiber working with partners to go ahead and innovate in the Wi-Fi space. It's kind of exciting, man. I didn't think this was going to become a Wi-Fi show, but I guess you never know what's going to happen. Turn into a T-Mobile hack show. Dang. All right, next story. All right, and this one's really about the American consumer. Yeah, Tech Guy, I agree, man. We're just starting to scratch the surface of 4K, man. 8K is a thing, apparently, and hardly see that. Now they're talking about 16K, Yeah, Kazi, totally agree with you, man. Yeah, barely doing 4K. It's wild. All right. Americans are cutting other expenses to pay for their internet, according to a survey. New study from U.S. News and World Report examines the speeds and prices Americans are getting from their home ISPs, delving into the impact that rising internet costs have had on households ability to pay other essential bills. The survey, including 3,500 U.S. adults who subscribe to home internet service, it included subscribers to various providers. What was that? Let's see here. Top 5 ISPs used by respondents were Comcast Xfinity, Spectrum, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. I'm guessing there's probably some fixed wireless guys in there, right? T-Mobile. The Verizon's probably Fios and fixed wireless. AT&T's probably DSL and fiber. Obviously, the Spectrum and the Xfinity stuff, that's wireline services, probably coaxial. Around 1/3 of respondents, 36%, reported download speeds of 100 megabits or less. The FCC defines broadband capability as access to download speeds of at least 25 megabits. 8% of respondents reported download speeds less than that. 8%? That's a little high, man. I don't think anybody should be getting home internet at 25 megabits per second. That's just not good. God, man, that's sad. This indicates that nearly 1 in 10 households doesn't actually have broadband internet service. Sheesh, man. 1 in 10, man. About half, 53% of respondents said when they signed up with the current ISP, their internet bill was between $20 and $60 per month. Around the same number, 48% said that today that has gone up between $41 and $80 per month. So let's take a look at that, right? They signed up, it was between 20 and 60. Now, the cost has basically doubled over the time that they've had their service provider. And the companies are always going to tell you, we got to make more money. We need more money. We got to make better profits. We need higher margins. Well, they're getting it. I don't know. You guys tell me. If you had a business where you sold a service that you could double the price over a couple of years, wouldn't you be happy about that? Or would you still be greedy and be like, yeah, we need more money? That's not enough. Oh, man. The quote here and the report, this may help explain why almost 1/3 of Americans without broadband say cost is the obstacle standing in their way. The report noted that adding affordability service is particularly scarce in rural and low-income areas. You know, it's just availability. They just don't have high speed. Inflation peaked in June of 22. Its impact on internet costs has lingered. I said this a long time ago. When the carriers started to bump up pricing last summer, I told everybody, it's never coming down. They're never going to drop prices because inflation starts to uninflate or deflate. They're going to leave it up, right? Why the hell would they bring pricing down? The report said the price of internet service didn't necessarily jump as high as other essential costs like grocery bills, but more than 1/3, 39% of the survey's respondents said they have to cut personal expenses in order to pay their monthly internet. I don't know. What do you guys think they're making cuts on? You know, to be able to afford the internet. I'm not really sure, you know, what that move is, what that business is. I don't know. Over half, 61%, said inflation's impact on the cost of household items such as groceries has made it difficult to pay their monthly internet bill. Savvy customers can shop around, compare ISP costs and services. Many will discover that budget-friendly internet providers can be tough to find, especially in certain parts of the country. So I want to talk about this, right? This piece I think is important. The affordability piece. I think this is probably why you have a lot of people taking fixed wireless access over cable. Cable's average cost is like $60, $70, $80, $90. Fixed wireless access cost when you bundle it with your wireless service It's like $35 or $50. So you're saving money. And that might explain why fixed wireless access from Verizon, from AT&T, is kicking cable's ass. And this would explain why here in my neighborhood, I got people signing up for Verizon Home Internet in a neighborhood that has AT&T fiber and Cox Communications cable. Everybody knows that wireline internet is better than fixed wireless access, but people are taking to it because of the pricing. They can save $20 or $30 a month, $40, maybe $50 a month by having fixed wireless access. And as long as it's good enough, they're happy about it. B says internet costs $35. How is $35 an inflated price? This article must be talking about big cable. I think a majority of the time with the wireline providers, B, that's the case. I think they're talking about the average cost, not just looking at fixed wireless access. I just think they're looking at traditional cable coaxial providers. The average internet cost is probably closer to $80. Some people might get a good deal at like 40 or 50, but I think most people are paying 60 to 80. And that's what kind of brings up the pricing average. Kazi says ISPs putting data caps back is not helping. And of course, people are using more internet than ever. People are gaming. People are using, their internet connection for work. They're using it, to stream TV and sports, Carlos chimes in. I'll cut internet before my normal stuff. Heck no. I will not suffer other ways to keep stupid internet that brainwashes you like TV does. Carlos always comes in. B says article needs to be more specific. Tech Guy 32 says wireline internet is priced too high. I agree, man. But they get away with it because that's been their MO for the longest. They haven't had competitors. B says wireline costs $50. How is that too expensive? I don't think 50 is too expensive. I think 80 is too expensive. Usually if somebody's paying $80 for internet, they're probably on like one of the higher speed tiers. But like an entry-level internet plan should not be $80. I think an entry-level internet plan should be like $30. 40 or 50 max for an entry-level internet plan. You want to upgrade to something with more bandwidth, right? With more speed. Add on another 10 or 15 bucks for each tier. I think that's fair. Most of the time, B, for like a mid-level tier, most companies are charging about $80. And I'm talking about everyday pricing. I'm not talking about promotional pricing. If you were to survey Americans what their cost of their internet is, they're probably paying closer to $80, and they're probably getting like the second tier. They're not getting the entry level tier. If you're talking about like entry level as base, it's probably closer to $50. Tech Guy 32 says Spectrum is near $100 full retail with the Wi-Fi router and the standard internet tier. Kazi says $50 is non-promotional for 100 down and 5 up from Comcast. See, to me, I feel like that's very common. I don't think that's outlandish. I think most people are probably paying $50 for an entry-level plan from their home wireline ISP. What up, David? Good to see you, man. Mid-tier pricing is giving 500 down and 500 up, though. Yeah, if you got fiber. Right? But what if you don't? What if you don't have fiber? What if you got cable coaxial? It's going to be like 500 down and like 5 up. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it all depends. I guess it's area dependent, promo dependent, maybe. I don't know. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, Mike is muted. My bad. All right. Verizon to show 5G means business at MWC in Vegas. Carlos, I got to ask you, man. Are you going to MWC? You're going to be there. You're going to check out what Verizon's got going on over here. All right. Official event partner Verizon Business will showcase the latest in enterprise intelligence with technology and network advancements that businesses rely on at MWC Vegas, serving 99% of the Fortune 500 in 120 countries. Verizon Business is helping customers solve organizational challenges by delivering meaningful outcomes for businesses of all sizes in the ever-evolving global landscape. Whoever said Verizon doesn't have international presence, man, you ain't looking too bright right now. Enterprises today face a myriad of challenges, including changing customer demands, constantly evolving global landscape. Digital transformation is key to tackling these challenges and building smarter, more agile, more successful businesses. So Kyle Malady, CEO of Verizon Business, will take the keynote stage on Wednesday, September 27th from 10:20 to 10:35. I think we'll tune into this. We'll hear what Kyle has to say. He's going to talk about Verizon Business, how they're leading technology advancements for businesses around the world. We'll see what he's got to say about the different 5G use cases, the private networks, the AI, network slicing, all that good stuff. Who else is presenting that day? They got a bunch of people. Congressional Leadership for Wireless 5G Future Summit. That's from John Nitty. I don't know some of these people. I don't know most of these people. But anyways. Oh, they're going to do something on connected cars. They got a quantum network seminar. Fraud threat landscape. And fintech innovation. Verizon, all this for Verizon Business. Okay. Los, are you going to NWC, man? If you're still in the chat, are you going? If so, you got to check out what Verizon's got going on there. Okay. Let's go to this story. Will 5G operators restart network spending in 2024? All right, guys. We are expecting wireless carriers this year and through, probably most of next year to reduce their CapEx. They're trying to spend less money. You've got companies that have a lot of debt. They've been spending a lot of money, and they don't want to spend that much money anymore. Verizon spends like $18 billion annual on its wireless network. They've got $150 billion of debt. AT&T's doing the same. They spend like 24 plus billion, 23 billion, 22 billion. T-Mobile's trying to drop CapEx too, right? They're doing a lot of corporate stuff with like share buybacks and dividend payments. They are all trying to reduce spend, man. So what does that mean for the network? All right, so after years of frenetic spending, 5G network operators started cinching up their purse strings earlier this year. Some financial analysts are debating when they'll start spending again. According to financial analysts at Wells Fargo, they're saying that 2024 might be the trough in carrier CapEx. $27 billion across the industry, with Verizon, AT&T, and Dish all contributing to a dip in industry CapEx from early 5G peaks. Dish isn't going to spend hardly anything on the network. Maybe a couple billion. AT&T is going to drop, I don't know, 10, 12 billion in wireless CapEx. They're focused on fiber. And then Verizon's probably, 13, 14 billion as well. Right? You got to remember that there's a certain amount of that CapEx goes to Verizon's MCI, fiber business and stuff like that. So that's probably kind of sort of how that's going to work out. While our 5G CapEx forecast through 2025 implies an average of $32 billion per year in wireless network investment over the first 6 years versus $29 billion per year throughout the decade-long 4G deployment cycle. The 10% CapEx step-up is far below the 30 to 35 increase in wireless CapEx we saw across the industry as we transitioned from 3G to 4G. Here's why that happened. Density. Power levels on 4G networks are lower. 3G networks had higher power levels, so they reached further. Also, you have more users, which means you have to split cells. So in the 3G era, if you had a tower every 5 miles, you were probably good. Now, you're looking at a tower site every 2 miles, especially like in suburban America, at least every 2 miles. In some suburbs and in most urban centers, you're looking at macros every mile or less, and you're looking at small cells and densification and millimeter wave and those things. Yeah. I mean, of course the CapEx was going to be intensive going from 3G to 4G. And this is something I talked about in a live stream like 5 years ago. You know, the power levels can be turned down when you have more density, which reduces RF pressure, right? When you're talking about like waves and things like that and spectrum licenses being deployed in all these channels. You know, if you got better tower density, you can turn power levels down and they can manage the signal and the noise and all those things. It's great. Density is key. I agree, B. Analysts are naive. They think they know everything, man. They're tripping. I don't even know if I count 50% of what analysts say. I don't even know if I listen to 50% of it. Despite significant hype for new 5G use cases, the returns on the recent 5G CapEx cycle have remained disappointing, to say the least, noting that AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Dish collectively invested over $230 billion in wireless CapEx and spectrum licenses in the last 3 years. Yet, operators have grown wireless EBITDA by $10 billion, the majority by which has come through cost-cutting synergies from the Sprint and T-Mobile merger. Wells Fargo analysts argued that spending may increase starting in 24. There's still a continual need for the carriers to invest in higher capacity networks based on mobile data consumption and proliferation of additional 5G devices. All right, let's take a look at the data here. This is the spending in the 2G era, $17 billion per year. Here is the 3G era, $23 billion per year. Here is the 4G era, $29 billion per year. And here's the 5G era, expected to be at $32 billion per year. Now, when were carriers making the most money? 2G, 3G, 4G, or 5G? Au contraire, mon frère, you probably think they were making the most money in 2G. Wrong. Wrong. They're making the most money in the 5G era. Their revenues are the highest they've ever been. Their ARPUs, their ARPAs are the highest they've ever been. They don't have to build 10 million new tower sites every year. They don't have to build 10 million new tower sites every era. Most of the towers that were built on these networks were done in the 4G era. Most of them. And that explains why you increase so dramatically from 3G to 4G era. You already had an existing footprint of cell towers, but you needed more because the frequencies that you were using, in order to have higher bandwidth channels, they were higher frequency channels, like AWS and PCS, for example, to name some. Now in 5G, it's the same story, even higher frequencies. You got C-band, you got DoD, you got N41. But I'm sure the carriers are going to complain and bellyache and say, we're not making enough money. We need more money. So B's talking about more chicken, and people asking for more chicken. Well, I'll talk like the carriers. We need more. It's never enough. We need more. Meanwhile, the CEOs at these companies make $20 million a year. Anybody care to argue that point? They give shareholders 7% dividend payouts. They do share buybacks. They give all their employees health care and benefits. Everybody seems pretty damn happy to me. I mean, networks have never been this efficient ever. The tower sites run like clockwork. They're always up and running. Customers are paying their bills. I can't think of an industry, off the top of my head, with 300 million customers who pay their bill religiously every month. What industry has that? That's why I don't understand why carriers would complain that we don't make enough money. That's bullshit. Who the hell are they talking to, man? How you going to explain to the average person we're not making enough money? But your revenues and your ARPUs are like through the roof. You know? Bigger than expected slowdown. CapEx in particular is expected to drop significantly at Verizon and T-Mobile next year, wrote the financial analyst at Morgan Stanley. The warnings gathered steam during the spring of 23. The slowdown became painfully clear this summer amid second quarter reports from Nokia, Ericsson, Juniper, and Corning, as well as SBA Communications, that's a tower company, probably some American Tower action. All right, look into the future. T-Mobile leasing could start to move off of this bottom sometime in 24 as it moves to deploy C-band and DoD. Dish will presumably re-engage by 24 to avoid missing the 2025 network deployment milestone. All right, so that's all pretty basic stuff. We could have called that. T-Mobile spent around $13.6 billion on C-band and DoD licenses. At some point, they will need to build that. All right, so they're going to have to hang radios and antennas. I bet you T-Mobile's waiting for a solution that includes both frequencies. They probably would prefer not to put up two separate radios and antennas. I'm not even sure if they have enough room up there on those towers, right? Because remember, you've got a space requirement that you have to meet. You have a weight requirement that you have to meet on all these types of towers. And that's all according to the lease, you know, with companies like American Tower, Crown Castle, SBA, and so on. Crown Castle continues to be the only tower company that provides its next year outlook with its Q3 results. Thus, we'll get our first look at 2024 expectations in October. The analysts at Wells Fargo believe Crown Castle will rip the Band-Aid off with their 24 guidance. That will be a negative headline across the tower stocks. If you are invested in Crown Castle, get out. All right, I don't give financial advice. I'm just playing. All right, but we'll learn, you know, what the leasing and the tower stuff is going to be like here very shortly. That's just about a month away. Wow, man. They stop spending so much. What are we going to do with the next story? All right, yeah, let's do this. Verizon to report third quarter earnings October 24th, 2023. The company will present results on a webcast beginning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's see here. Says the company will have a presentation materials posted at 7 a.m. on the Verizon Investor Relations website. Materials will include detailed commentary on Verizon's Q3 results, their earnings and news release, and financial tables. All right, so you guys ready for my predictions for Verizon Q3, October 24th, 2023? Here are my predictions. Prepaid, there will be net losses, minus 250,000. Yeah, they've been losing like 370,000, 350,000. Let's go minus 270,000. Minus 250,000. Something like that. Less bleeding. All right. What else? Postpaid. Yeah, let's do postpaid. I think it's going to be better. But I still think it's going to be net losses in the consumer business. I think they're going to lose 35,000 lines for the consumer segment. Minus 35,000. And the reason I think it's going to be minus 35,000, and I want to put a little caveat in there, they might be plus 35,000. I want that over and under at 0. I want that little bit of wiggle room. I think it's possible because of the NFL partnership with the NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. I think some of that is going to help them. So I got, and I think also you're getting some iPhone pre-orders, right? I think some of that helps a little bit. I got Verizon between minus 35,000 consumer and plus 35,000 consumer. I'm being optimistic. I think that's where we're going to fall into place. Could they be minus 50,000 and plus 50,000? I don't know. I'm just giving you guys my prediction. I'll go minus 35,000 to plus 35,000. I think the bold, optimistic side of me says they're going to get some gains. Churn rate. Let's do postpaid churn. Let's go .80. I think they're going to go 0.80. And I think that's going to come in third. Again. As crazy as it sounds, Verizon is going to be the worst in industry churn. Again. 2 quarters in a row, which is crazy at 0.80. I think AT&T is going to be slightly better, and I think T-Mobile is going to be better too. I have no reason to think that T-Mobile is going to lose customers. They haven't been. They got rid of Sprint. Where the hell is a customer going to go? If they don't want to be on AT&T or Verizon, they're at T-Mobile. So, yeah, I think Verizon's churn is going to be fine, but it's going to lag the industry. They're going to be third. And there's nothing they can do about it because they're not changing the consumer side. So that's kind of the way it's going to be. All right, guys, ready for this? Fixed wireless access for Verizon. Plus 295,000 on the consumer side. 295,000. I think the most optimistic upside for the fixed wireless for Verizon, I think might be 315,000. 320,000. I think that's like the high side if they get there. But I think 290,000, a conservative estimate, I think that's where they end up. Fixed wireless will continue to shine. And I still think that the Fios business, I think they're going to add another 40, 50,000. So business. I think business fixed wireless, I think they're going to add some there. Give them about 50,000. Fios, give them about 50,000. So Verizon's going to be, still kicking ass in home broadband. Fios, business 5G internet, and, residential 5G internet. Still kicking ass. And I also think that the price increase isn't going to impact them for the fixed wireless. Most people are locked in for a couple years anyways. All right, what am I forgetting? Did I forget anything? Oh, business. Business mobility. Plus 100,000. Plus 120,000, something like that. More wins. I think the upside is about 150,000. Total churn probably be like 0.95 or something, 0.98 for the entire business. Yeah, prepaid's going to be crap. Consumer is going to continue to still be kind of weak. Business will be strong. Fixed wireless access will be strong. Fios will look good, in my opinion. I think 50,000 is good for them. It's a good number. And Hans and his crew Sampath and those guys. They'll talk about how they're fixing consumer, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. It'll just sound like that. Wah, 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 wah. It'll sound like Peanuts and Snoopy and shit, you know? It'll just sound like when the parents talk on Snoopy. Hans will say something like, we have good momentum. We like our momentum, you know? We have good momentum in consumer group. And there'll be no data to prove this. They'll still be weak, you know? Total revenues, free cash flow, wireline service revenues. So let's do year over year. I think year over year, total revenues will be, I think they'll be up by like 2 or 3%. I think it's going to be a good quarter for revenues. Free cash flow, I think it'll be perfectly healthy. It'll still be industry leading. I think they'll even beat out AT&T. Maybe by like $500 million. Maybe more. Be like that one, man. Yeah, I think the service revenues are going to be fine. I think margins are going to look healthy. You know, the profits will be better. The ARPU is going to be a little bit higher. I think what was the ARPU, like $61 last quarter or something, $64. You know, give or take 2%. I think up 2% on the ARPU. I think they're doing good there. They laid off thousands of people. That's going to make the business, you know, run a little bit leaner. You know, so their margins should be better. That's my prediction. You guys may agree or disagree. I don't know. I think it's going to be more of the same, but you know, the traditional Verizon fashion. We will have good momentum. I'm terrible, bro. I'm terrible. I'm done. That'll wrap up the show, guys. Thank you for all that you do. Let's get out of here, man. All right. If you enjoy these types of productions, enjoy the live streams, enjoy the content here on the channel, maybe you've been lurking, you know, you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Subscribe and then activate the bell notifications. Select all so that you're alerted whenever we do drop new content. And if you're looking for more content, early access to videos, perks, benefits, additional live streams, some exclusive stuff, check out our Patreon. We got a Patreon page. The link will be in the description of this video as well as others. You can also get a YouTube membership here with us and support us that way and get those same perks. And if you want to support us, you could do so by buying us a coffee. There's some other things. They're all in the description. Thank you, guys. If you're looking for a good deal on wireless service, we've got partner links for that. If you're looking to start a new career and get some new training, and get a new degree, we got links for that if you want to help us out as well. All that stuff is down there in the description. Hit me with your favorite hashtag, y'alls. Hashtag 2LiveCrew, hashtag Mod Squad, hashtag Ravioli Gang. You guys are the best, man. Thank you. Thanks for being so supportive of the SMT. And we'll leave it at that. You guys have a great rest of the evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. We'll have a panel. Hashtag Save the Bear. We out.